Hey there, Dionne the Priestess. New new video for you and me and a cup of tea. Today I am drinking some Irish breakfast tea because I need a little bit extra energy to be able to share with you today. Last little sip there. So yeah, it is the last little sip because it has taken me a little bit of time to be able to prep myself to say all that I want to say today, all that I feel needs to be said today. I have decided to shelve my goal of completing a marathon. I don't have any excuses. I got in my own way. I got discouraged by the lack of progress. I got discouraged by how tired and heavy my body felt as I was trying to force myself to run, force myself to pick up my feet, force myself to push through. And quite honestly, I was hoping that I would find that runner's high that a lot of people who adore running talk about. I was hoping that on the path to pushing through, I would find that, and then just all of a sudden everything would be perfect and I would move faster and farther than I have ever gone before and keep going. And it just didn't happen, and I got super discouraged and fell back into my old default ways of making excuses and beating myself up. My inner critics went to work on me big time, and the more that I forced and tried to just force myself to feel the fear and do it anyway, the less I wanted to do it. And I took all of the joy and excitement that I was originally feeling from doing it and sharing my progress with you and connecting with the elements. I took all of that away from myself by forcing myself to do something that just did not feel good in my body at this time. So for now, I'm tabling it. I, like everybody else in the world, it seems right now, have been playing Pokemon Go, and that has been a fun way to get out, but I'm not using it as a way to continue my marathon training. Sometimes on the path to goals, you find that that's not where you really want it to be. You might have thought it sounded like a good idea, and initially it did sound like a good idea. I did want to go and do a half marathon, and part of me still does. And on the path to making a goal happen, you sometimes discover that it's not time yet, and that's what I feel has happened here. I don't feel it's time for me to do a half marathon yet. I have gone farther and faster than I have in the past, and I've really made movement more a staple in my life. So rather than making tons of excuses for not even getting out and walking, at the very least, I've been walking regularly since I set that goal. And so maybe that's what I was supposed to learn from this. I've also had this shift about self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to do things even when you don't feel like doing them. And for a while now, I have been viewing self-discipline as a cat of nine tails that I beat myself up with. Oh, you've got to be self-disciplined. Like the beatings will continue until morale improves. And instead of looking at self-discipline as this thing that I have to beat myself up with, I'm looking at self-discipline as a tool that I can cultivate with rather than beat myself up with. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I was using self-discipline to beat myself up, to force myself into doing the half marathon, because that's what I said I was going to do. And I wanted to be honest with you and tell you that sometimes even I, with all of the tools that I'm sharing with you, don't always get to where I thought I was going to with my goals and dreams. So I'm in the process of reassessing and deciding if I want to, instead of trying to force myself to do the marathon, the half marathon it's 2 weeks away now, look at marathons towards half marathons towards the beginning of the year, see how I feel, reassess that, keep moving. And I think that's the most important thing for me. In my lifestyle, I tend to be extremely sedentary, and I would like to keep moving because I feel like getting that movement in whatever means is best and comfortable for my body is the most important thing. So before I started this 17th recording, like I've been recording and stumbling over words and saying no and deleting and starting over. So this is finally coming together. So I pulled a card, and today I got Illumination, a fire card. And I feel that this is actually sharing with me how I've illuminated a place where I wasn't being authentic with myself. I was, especially within regards to self-discipline. And I want to read what the little booklet says here. It says, fire is the element of light, the light of the sun, the soft glow of candles, firelight from a roaring fire, and the light of illumination of your consciousness. Under the influence of fire, you shine light on your inner awareness to discover what has previously remained hidden. You awaken to deeper knowing, wisdom, and guidance as you shine the light within your consciousness. So yeah, definitely, this has illuminated for me the ways that I use self-discipline as a cat o' nine tails rather than a tool, and how I can shift that and use it as a tool to cultivate rather than to rend flesh from bone. So in closing, I'd like to invite you to dig deeper and into your goals and dreams. If you're not where you would like to be, if you find yourself avoiding doing what you need to do in order to make them come true, dig deeper and see what that block is. Dig underneath that surface and get that rock out of the way and look at it and see. It might end up being a diamond. You don't know unless you explore with it. And I'll be back next week, and I'm going to share some of my favorite journaling techniques for when I discover a piece of rock that I want to polish off and see if it's a gem. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.